talked about.
Yes.
Which is what we're trying to teach many young people who just want to jump the gun,
Yes.
right? They believe that if you had to do it for 20-something years, 30-something years is not my destiny. So my own portion is to do it for 1 year and 6 months, and I am good. Now, my question is, what is considered true process? What time frame would you give true process? Or does everybody have their process according to their particular blueprint?
Of course. I mean, there's no time, it's not the same timing for everybody.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to be, if you want to understand AI today, for instance, it's a much shorter route. Okay. But you have to have the basic knowledge of logic and all of that. You have to have some form of, education, so that when you now start to study AI and how to deploy it, it becomes easier. Yeah. If you want to, the reason why tech is the way it is today is that those who are teaching it have found a way to circumvent, to go direct. Let me give you an example. If you go to, say, my village, and you want to teach kids in my village about AI, and they don't speak English, if you get an robot teacher who understands AI and teach them in a robot, they will get it.
Yeah.
Okay? So we have that disadvantage of having to learn English first before we learn every other thing. But the world has moved on to the point where you can now look for people that understand their language, and then you teach them directly, and then they can apply. If you want to be a lawyer, there is a recommended time frame for it, right? In America, it's even different. You cannot leave from high school to go and study law. They would need you to, medicine, for instance. You need to study your first degree before you go study medicine, right? So that you can't, the process is so regulated that you cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot jump it. Otherwise, by the time somebody is lying on your table as a doctor, as a patient, and you are the doctor, you are going to kill the person.
Yeah.
And that is what is happening in places where it is not regulated and where the process is bypassed by people who can
package their way
through by buying exams and all of that, because it will catch up with you.
Yeah.
How do you not regulate an engineer who is going to certify a plane to fly every day?
Oh.
How do you not regulate a guy who is going to operate on human beings? How do you not regulate a driver who is going to drive public transport every day?
Even a construction company who's going to build your company. I'm going to give BC a contract, but I didn't care about her competence. Let me give it to her because she's not also checking to be sure that the person that she's even giving is technically competent to do the job. Let you jump in.
Yes, I was just going to say, I was listening to an American actor, and he was talking about working actors and celebrity. And sometimes for us, because we're looking at the results, we think, because we're looking at success a certain way, we think that is how, that is the peak.
As a full picture.
Yes, there's some actors who are not celebrities, but they are accomplished and they're happy where they are.
Absolutely.
They know that there's no room that they will enter that they will not get the respect. But there's somebody who has done themselves to look a certain way, and they go to places and they have the fans and followers excited about them. But when they walk into the places like where they need to get acting jobs, they're just like any one of us. So the thing is, how do we see success? What is success to us? So if it's for you to just be a celebrity, there are many ways you can circumvent it to get there. And that's why I think the Kardashians have always caught a lot of flack, is that they came at a time where they were being celebrated for, people said, for doing nothing. It was a time where we celebrated people because this was a doctor, or we used to celebrate Oprah because many years in the talk show business. But we have these people who have figured out a way to package themselves to be celebrities, to be adored and adulated, all those sort of things. But that is why I feel now we should have this conversation, because it's become dangerous now that people are falling for the scammers and making big mistakes because we are unable to differentiate packaging from content.
It's so true.
Nicely said.
Because this is quite deep. Because, what led to this, RMD, is a social media post. Somebody was saying that they had to go and hire a foreigner to get a job and hire a car. So you come to Abuja with a regular car, you now go and get Prado, the proper Prado for that meeting, and get a white person to follow you.
People believe in sight and sound.
Do you think it's wrong to do that, though? Like, you have the content, but you know that if you go to the ministry without the pump and
get a contract.
You might not get the contract, but you know you can deliver. So
absolutely. It's you have to be able to do some form of window dressing. You have to. There's nothing. Look, I can always speak from my experience, right? So I've always prided myself as an actor, right? When I went into magazine, when I went into journalism and I became a publisher, I realized that I needed to dress differently from how I used to dress as an actor. And I looked the part. I started wearing suits and ties and everything. And because if I need to walk into a boardroom and all of that, I needed to look a certain way. And I started doing that. And I remember that I was going to be, I had a meeting, Insights, a communication wanted me to be a brand ambassador for a particular drink. And that day, I was supposed to, they said we were going to see the MD of the brewery. And I dressed up in my three-piece suit, and I had my Mont Blanc pen and everything. And we got to the meeting, and they just introduced me, this is Richard Mofe-Damijo, but he didn't say who I was other than that. So we sat down, and the MD kept looking at, the white guy kept looking at my suit. I said, oh, nice suit. I said, thank you. And he said, nice pen. I said, can I see it? I said, yeah, sure. And I brought my pen, and it was the big Mont Blanc, with the blunt ink, So I gave him, and he was trying, so I said, excuse me. So I took it, and I
showed him how to do it.
So he was like, oh, this is really, really nice. I said, thank you. So I think it was Jibi Awoshika that now said to him, oh, this is the guy that is going to be the brand ambassador, So he said, give him the money. He said, do you see his pen?
What are we talking about?
So the thing is, it is because I also know I have content. And I need to make him comfortable. The reason why they used to tell bankers to dress in tie and all that is for people, is for confidence. There's a way they used to tell doctors to dress. Have the lab coat on, have the, it's for confidence. It's to help you, be able to relate. If you walk into a place where everybody's wearing a suit, and you go in there looking scruffy, you are disregarding a tradition.
Aye.